If we have to borrow money, we borrow. It's not borrowing is not a leprosy. We just have to work hard to be able to pay for it. You are playing to the hand of rejects, including my own enemies, who want to use insecurity to get rid of me. I'm a very stubborn politician. I just refuse to go. And I will campaign for my second term. I will work. If we have to borrow money, we borrow. It's not borrowing is not a leprosy. We just have to work hard to be able to pay for it.
Good morning and welcome once again to the Big Story on Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogu. Today we turn our attention to a development already shaping the political direction of Nigeria ahead of 2027. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's open declaration of interest in a second term has done more than signal personal ambition. It has effectively fired the major political shots in the race to 2027. With that declaration, the countdown has begun, not just for the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, but also for an opposition still searching for cohesion, strategy, and direction. So, what does this early declaration mean for governance in the present? Will the business of leadership now compete with the politics of the election? Is this a strategic masterstroke by the APC, or an early test of the opposition's relevance and readiness? This morning, we examined the implications of the president's second-term signal, what it means for national governance, party politics, and the shape of opposition politics in the years ahead. And joining us for this particular conversation is Honorable Omalaja Olaoye. He's a native APC chieftain, and Samson Balogu is my name, and thank you for joining us. Now, President Bola Tinubu's second-term declaration may have come before many expected, but politically, it changes everything. In one move, the president has shifted national conversation from governance alone to governance and succession strategy. So, for the APC, it is an early move to consolidate power, test party loyalty, and frame the next electoral contest before the opposition fully regroups. So, for the opposition, it is a direct challenge. Organize early, unite quickly, and risk entering into 2027 contest already behind. But beyond the politics lies a deeper national concern. What happens when a sitting government begins to think ahead of the election while still managing present economic hardship, insecurity, inflation, and public frustration? So, can governance remain fully focused when political calculations have already begun? Or is this simply the reality of democratic power, where governance and politics must always move side by side? This conversation is only about President Tinubu's ambition. It is about timing, strategy, power, and the consequences of beginning the 2027 conversation in 2026. And this is why this discussion this morning actually matters. And before we go straight into the conversation, before I bring Honorable Omalaja Olaoye on board this morning, let's listen to some of the key things the president talked about when he made those bold assertions and the claims that he wants to run for office, a re-election for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We'll be back shortly after this particular one. Thank you.
If we have to borrow money, we borrow. It's not borrowing is not a leprosy. We just have to work hard to be able to pay for it. You are playing to the hand of rejects, including my own enemies, who want to use insecurity to get rid of me. I'm a very stubborn politician. I just refuse to go. and I will campaign for my second term. I will work. If we have to borrow money, we borrow. It's not borrowing is not a leprosy. We just have to work hard to be able to pay for it.
Those two assertions were the ones that stood out in what the president said. So I want to bring Honorable Omalaja Olaoye on board this morning. Good to have you in the studio.
Pleasure to be here, Samson. And for the people who are watching us at home, we are very grateful for your everyday dedication. And thank you very much.
Okay, now the president made some bold claims yesterday. He spoke about borrowing, he spoke about his ambition, security crisis in the country. But for you, Honorable Omalaja, I want to ask you, this declaration came a bit too early than what people expected. And is it a sign of confidence from the APC, or they are already jittery that if they don't start early, the opposition might gain more grounds than the APC ahead of the next election?
Well, seriously, it's a combination of both. And the facts still remain that when you are prepared, you don't fear for anything. And this is a very good, is a very critical time in any political party, because when everybody are fighting for different slots, there is always political intrigues and fighting, and fighting all the time. And it's better for you to be settled now, and for it to be towards the election, which is going to be disastrous. At least before the election, everybody that is seriously having some grudges will have been able to settle all the grudges before then. You can see what is happening in your state. It's always about political intrigues when it comes to governorship and any other office that being fought for right in your state. So what is happening right now is well expected, and APC, they are well prepared because they have a lot of brilliant people who are there in the aim of affair to be able to pilot things, unlike the opposition who doesn't even get themselves and they don't know where to go or where to start. So I think APC is getting ready.
Some said when governance and politics, when they are played side by side, one suffers, and most definitely it is governance that suffers the most. Now that the president has started campaigning too early by some people, especially at a time when Nigeria is basically grappling with inflation, insecurity, economic hardship. So is this the right time for the president to talk about re-election?
Yes, there have never been any best time to talk about the election, because that is what is happening in the developed world as well. When you are talking about United States of America, when you are talking about Britain, we have seen that when Biden started, immediately Trump lost, and he has fought his way in order to be able to keep the seat. Immediately after, he said he's going to contest for the next election that is coming. That is what he said. And when you are talking about a conservative like United States of UK, you have seen the way they have been debated. Debate has been done when you are talking about House of Parliament. It's always about fighting. And one thing that is peculiar to this is that when you are talking about sitting government, it will try as much as possible to concentrate on governance, and the same thing about politics. Because mind you, the opposition are going to, like he said, they wanted to bring him down because of insecurity and probably the loan he's taking. That is what they base their assertion and their power, or what they can be able to do much better. And these people has been there for a very long time. They have never made any impact when it's come to even governance and even how they are going to be able to do a lot of things when they are talking about politics. So, unlike what is happening, there is no way politics and governance is going to go side by side, because the opposition are always using any weakness in the government as an advantage in order to kill that government. So that what makes those in governance, any political party in governance, to be governed and again between opposition at the same time.
Okay, now that you have mentioned this, let me ask you this very quickly. Was this a strategic political move by the president himself, his personal decision, or this is a what you call a coordinated arrangement, a coordinated decision of the APC to dominate the 2027 conversation early? The problem we are having is that we have seen in the time past how a
a political party is so dominating every aspect of life. They can be able to boast that they are the largest political party in Africa. But when you have this kind of laurel, or you have this kind of at least achievement, and you cannot know how to manage it, that is the problem that is always happening. Like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has been planning this for a very long time. So he's a strategist. At the same time, he's a politician. And when it is not a lot of these people who are now coming together, they think they have experience. But at the end of the day, they are bullies. If they are not bullies, they will have even make sure they settle all the intrigues and problems they have been having before others. This is not, the problem is not exceptional to APC as well. APC, the beginning of when they created this party, there is always intrigues and political jibe and problem that is coming up. But they face it head-on. I remember the chairman of CPC said that he is not going to support the political party that was being formed. I've forgotten the name of this man. He bluntly refused. He said he has the certificate that is not going to leave it. But at the end of the day, when they are submitting the certificate, the original certificate is kept to who's supposed to have it, probably the secretary of the party. So now, by the time it's been formed, when you see the majority, even if the chairman said he's not going to be able to sign, if you see the majority that is going to be involved and they collectively agree to do something, I don't think anybody can. But when you are talking, opposition party were the one that shot themselves on the leg. You see a lot of things that they always ignore the court judgment. And there is no way you can be able to ignore the court judgment and don't think you are going to be able to survive. See what happened during the time of Oshiomhole. A world chairman, when we are having 70-something local government, probably we have probably 2,000 or 3,000 what, was the one that befell Oshiomhole. I even like he was a organizer. I'm sorry to say that. It's a very good profession. But people are going to say a common organizer. But he fell down Oshiomhole. And Oshiomhole at the end of the day agreed and he bought out of the power. But unlike when you are talking about Iwosu, that the former chairman of ADC, that's been in the shadow for more than 15, even against the constitution.
20 years.
20 years. It is not done. Oshiomhole doesn't even spend about 2.5 years before it was fair. He fell and he agreed. For somebody who spends it against the constitution stipulated that you cannot spend more than 2 terms of probably 3 years, or 5 years, or 6 years, and our constitution based our term to be 4 years. You cannot spend more than that, and you are spending about 20 years. For you to know that they have created political logjam themselves, and they are seeing it. So you can see the Amala Convention as well, which is being stopped by the court of law, but they ignore. So if they are now having this kind of misfortune at this particular, they don't supposed to blame President Tinubu or opposition party. It is not done.
So going back to President Tinubu's declaration, should Nigerians be worried that some strategic decisions will be politically motivated in the run-up to the general elections?
Nigerians are there to be able to watch, and they are the one that is going to give their mandate to whoever they want. Mind you, it is not about APC, not only APC, not only PDP, not only ADC that are on the ballot. There are many political parties. These people can jump to tomorrow if they can be able to agree with those people who are in that political party and make it to be mega. It is not about ADC or PDP or APC. People must be able to show their strength. Before in the United States of America, the only powerful element is Democrat. Probably before Republican. There are gap between Democrat and Republican when you are talking about years of creation. At the end of the day, there are 2 political parties right now. But what about Labour? Before Labour Democrat is so powerful in United States of America, in the United Kingdom, that now they hardly see Labour Democrat anymore. But what we are saying that they can make any political party to be bigger, but they must be able to abide by the rules and the regulation of that political party. In as much as they can be able to do that, they are going to triumph if they have a very good policy for people. But at the end of the day, if you are not prepared, you are bound to fail.
Okay. Can the president realistically convince struggling Nigerians that politics of 2027 will not disturb today's decisions?
It depends on the decision you are talking about. He has his own policy and he has been outlaying all his policies all the time. He has been talking about some fundamental reform that needs to be done. Like he talked about policing, security. When you are talking about security, that each state should be able to control their security. And mind you, he's not even doing it purposely because of the state. They are creating funds for it. How the fund can be able to be shared between the state. How the state can be able to generate their fund as well. And what is going to come from the federal airports to be able to fund this policing when you are talking about security. And you know, security is always local. Instead of them boarding our soldier at this particular time, I think when they do that, and you are talking about other reform that is coming with it as well. So if he's going to be able to do this, let him give him chance. We have been, Nigeria, this republic has been struggling for a very long time. And no clear reform has been done by any other government. And this government is making sure that it's going to do a reform that is going to be spectacular to the Nigerians.
Let me ask you two questions in one. Do you think Nigerians of now have weak opposition? And do you think the president and the APC is capitalizing on weak opposition in Nigeria?
Like I said, I don't want to talk about weak opposition. It is you that has that achievement that you should be able to manage it. If you don't manage your fortune, you know the fortune is going to go down whether you like it or not. It is like no matter what is go up, it's going to come down. The opposition are not well prepared. They are being managed by a lot of inexperienced people. We have seen a situation that it is one particular government that even dismantle PDP because of his heading, because he was so forget. Politics is about give and take.
If you say they are inexperienced, Senator David Mark was Senate president for how many years? It was in the floor of the House for over 20 years. And you talk about Rauf Aregbesola, former governor of Osun State. He was governor for 8 years. He was Minister of Interior. Rotimi Ameji was Minister of Works. He was governor for 8 years. In fact, he was a speaker in his state. He started at the grassroots level. And if you say Atiku Abubakar was former vice president for 8 years. So are you saying all these people are inexperienced?
I'm telling you they are inexperienced. I can say to you. Some people got their luck by being fortunate.
Are you saying they were just
lucky? They are just lucky. I'm telling you sincerely. Because now, for you to be able to be in government, it is not about when you have to be in the shadow or in the limelight all the time. You can be in the shadow and you can be able to do wonderful things. You are talking about music. A lot of people write music and they are under the shadow and they last longer than those people who sing the song. Not all the time. People who sing the song can be able to last forever. But what I'm saying, it is not about experience alone. It's about how they can be able to manage the experience they have.
Is it experience or they lack strategy?
No, they lack. I would say they lack strategy. That's what I'm saying.
Which one of the two? Is it they are inexperienced or they lack strategy?
They lack strategy. You see, when you are talking about inexperience as well, you can be in a particular job for almost 20 years. And you cannot be able to grab anything. Probably you are there. That is why they will grade you when you are talking about academic, when you are talking about first class, second class, third class. And this, how can they went to ADC blindfoldedly and they see all this problem and they ignore it because they think they have power. But you can have, sometimes these people, it is not about, you are talking about politics. Politics can change all the time. It is not about, you say you are good when it's politics. If people love you, they are going to follow you.
Okay, talking about declarations, the president declared, and some other people also, they have declared their intention to run for office. But in Ogun State, something is happening. It might likely lead to a major crisis within the APC's fold in Ogun State. Let's listen to Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State and what might look like a crisis that will soon ensue in that political party. Let's watch him and then we'll come back and talk about that.
You know, I was here when Governor Musu became governor. I was here when Governor Daniel was governor. I actually ran against Governor Daniel then. As soon as he emerged in his primaries, I was one of the first to congratulate him. And I gave him all my structure I delivered to him and I supported him. You know, and we know what we've done for each other over the years. I know what my relationship with Daniel was when I assumed office, you know, and how I held his hand to ensure that he was integrated back into the party. You know, and these are facts. These are facts. I know what I did for Governor Daniel to become a senator. I've never said this publicly. And I'm saying it now. I know what I did for him to emerge as senator. You know, Bishop is here. Senator Mustafa, they are here. They were the front runners in that election. You know, I know what my intervention was to get them to step down for him to emerge as senator. We entrusted it to him. If Governor Daniel now believes that the only way to repay me is to be...
That was the governor of Ogun State, and he made some bold claims and how he supported Otumba Gbenga Daniel, a senator, sitting senator, and of course a former governor of that state. He said he's been there. If they both ruled for two terms, that's 8 years, 16 years. He's been in the game for a long time, and he even ran against Senator Ibikunle Amosun at that time. So something keeps happening in some states, and I want you to react to it. In Oyo State, in recent times, you have not really seen a former governor that has gone back to the Senate. Yes, we have had people who contested. Senator Isiaq Abiola Ajimobi contested and he lost. But we have not seen former governors go back and to the Senate. In Ekiti, it hasn't really happened. Some of them have contested. In Osun, the same thing. In Lagos, no state governor, sitting governor, has gone to the House of Senate. The only thing that has happened is they were senators and then became governors. But in places like Ogun, it looks like the Senate happens to be the retirement plan of former governors. Senator Ibikunle Amosun, talk about Senator Gbenga Daniel, and Dapo Abiodun too wants to go to the Senate. So, if you look at the look of things, is this the Ogun State APC sitting firmly on a keg of gunpowder?
I don't think it's like that. Whether they are going to like it or not, in as much
these are
as
two well
they need to fight.
Dapo Abiodun is even going for the same ticket.
They need
Senator
to fight.
Gbenga Daniel will be fighting.
Yeah, I think Dapo Abiodun is just talking story. I think he likes to talk story all the time because
he's the sitting governor.
Yeah,
he's the leader of the APC.
It is not about it. He should be able to put himself down or even table himself to be scrutinized by the members of the political party. You must be able to test your popularity and your ability. If you cannot be able to test your popularity and ability within the member, why are you going forth for the general election? What was saying that whether you are the governor, you are sitting down, you have the money, you have what it takes, and you have the member. If you take care of them, they are going to vote for you. Why is it going to scare up somebody stepping down for someone? It's not. I just think it's just a little story. It's just about storytelling. Put yourself for scrutiny within the member of APC and test your ability and popularity as well. All this what Dapo Abiodun say is just storytelling. He must be able to at least has thrown down the gullet. He should be able to pick it up and just slot it out within instead of this story talking.
If this issue between these two continues, do you think Otumba Gbenga Daniel might likely leave their party, the senator?
It's not about leaving the party. Otumba Gbenga Daniel has not signified that he's going to leave the party. He has went to procure the form. He bought the form before.
To have someone like Otumba Gbenga Daniel on the opposing side of the ballot.
It is not. I am saying Otumba Gbenga Daniel is not going anywhere. He is ready to slot it out with Dapo Abiodun.
He was bounced out of the stakeholders meeting. They could not enter.
That he has not been driving out because the governor
he could not enter. He was locked.
He might not be able to enter in the.
Has he been fenced?
He cannot be fenced within the party. He has procured. The good thing about it is that you don't need to procure the form from the state. They went to the federal and procured the form. That is what is need to be done. And now that Abiodun is the one that is making the talking, Otumba Gbenga Daniel has not made any speech. He wanted to put himself for scrutiny among the people and is ready to do that. At least for what the president has said, he said you have the mandate is within you, the governors, for you to know that if you are governor, do well in any position you are. If you don't do well, people are going to speak with their vote. He knew what he has done. He knew he's not popular among the party members. That is why he is looking for consensus candidate. And you can see what is happening in your state as well. Some people are looking for consensus. Some people want to table themselves for the scrutiny among the member of the party. That is what we need. And with this, if you can do it according to the way it should be done, like it's been done in the United States of America, I don't think we are going to have any problem in Nigeria.
Now, talking about consensus in your state, shortly before we go, have you noticed a trend recently? Senator Teslim Kolawole Folari has been silent.
He has not been silent. They have been doing a lot of meeting among themselves. Like I heard, I think he's coming out as well. I think he wanted to contest for governorship in our state. I think everybody must be able to show their face, and they must be table themselves for scrutiny among the members who are the decision makers. And if the party can be given to the members, I am telling you, a lot of these people are going to do well. Instead of looking for cheap consensus to be nominated by the godfather that is even not straight to the democratic setting. With that, we are good to go in Nigeria.
Will a silence finally speak doom for the APC?
There is no doom that is coming. The doom that is coming are those people that are in doom already.
Senator
Are the PDP
is a grassroots politician. It needs to be taken seriously in your political party.
I'm not going to doubt that he's a grassroots politician, at least if he can be able to prove himself.
Will Chibayo Adelabu get his support?
His support, he doesn't need. Everybody should be able to go to the poll. We need that for you to know who the members wanted. With that, we will not have any problem. We have seen a candidate that won the election as a Guba that said he doesn't have the godfather, that is now portraying himself as a godfather. Don't you think that is hypocrisy? We don't need godfatherism. We need people like you and me to determine and decide the fate of ourselves. And those who are going to represent us, who we are going to give the mandate before they get to the poll.
You've spoken so much about this primary election in Oyo State. You have an aspirant of choice. Yes, you are so sure he's going to win the primary election.
I'm sure Chibayo Adelabu is going to do well. When you are talking about coming up of any time there is going to be primary, the man is fit enough. The man is an orator. The man is presentable.
You think he's the biggest candidate in your political party?
Enough to be able to. He's been loved by the member of the political party.
Are you sure?
I'm damn too sure. I'm telling you.
The primary election is almost here. Who will happen? He sent his personal assistant to get his form.
I can't wait.
When Sharafadin Ali went to pick his own, Senator Sharafadin Ali, we saw so many lawmakers who went there with him. Does that signal support from their hand?
They don't even know. Are they not those people who are in National Assembly that are begging for consensus to be nominated and not to be challenged? For you to know that a lot of them they don't even know they are standing on the thread of wood. How they can be able to stand, we don't know, because a lot of them knew that they don't do it very well to the members of the party. I don't know about public, but I think members of the political party are the public people as well. They must test themselves among the members of the party, and we are going to see how it's going to
happen. I don't think their support is a threat to anybody.
It's not a threat. They can support their colleagues, which is normal, which is expected. Is one of their colleagues. So what I expected from them, it is not that, but they have done that, and the member are now the one that is going to choose who they want for the political party.
Thank you, Honorable Mola Joloye, for joining us this morning.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
It has been an eye-opening session with you. So, as the road to 2027 begins to take shape earlier than expected, one thing is already clear. President Tinubu's second-term declaration has changed the political tempo of the country. For the APC, it is a declaration of confidence. For the opposition, it is a call to urgency. And for Nigerians, it raises the bigger question of whether early political positioning will strengthen governance or distract from it. The next election may still be some distance away, but the politics of it has already begun. What remains to be seen is whether this early start will produce stronger leadership, sharper opposition, and better governance, or simply deepen the cycle of power and political calculation. Honorable Omolaja Olaoye, an APC chieftain, I say thank you to you for joining us and for sharing your insight on the big story this morning. And to our viewers out there, thank you for staying with us on Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogun. Join us again as we go on a short break. And of course, when we are back, Trend Watch is next. Good morning from here.